Welcome to Healthy Pickleball Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Jim. Happy New Year to everyone and all pickleball players all over the world, especially the USA. Once again, 2025, the fastest growing sport in the USA is pickleball. 4 straight years in a row, Brian. And Florida being the most pickleball players in the USA. Okay, today's podcast, we have an icon in the pickleball world, a top influencer, pickleball pro, and also a behind-the-scenes guy, power player, Mr. Brian Levine. Thanks for coming.
It's an honor to be here, Dr.
How are you?
I'm great.
Okay, so Brian is the first CEO of MLP. For those of you who don't know what MLP is, it's Major League Pickleball. Current board member of the United States Pickleball Association. Yup, he knows a lot about that DUPR score we're going to get into a little bit. Co-founder of Boca Paddle Club, opening later this year in Boca Raton, Florida. We're all looking forward to that. Advisory board of and co-chair of Maccabee USA Pickleball. And made the top, I think he was number 31 influencers of pickleball. Ben, could we see some of those pictures? Oh, that's Brian Levine with the Boca Surge. There he is, Pickleball Power List 50, right next to Tyson McGuffin. Wow, look at his mouth. Whew. Okay, he's nicknamed B-Lev, and his mantra is, do things you love, with the people you love, and have impact. Life is short, and impact you have had. You've had quite a career, and that's your mantra. Again, welcome. And I know that you were number 9 in the APP Senior Pro Singles 2023 before you had some injuries. Brian, welcome again. Tell us about some of the injuries you've had.
Oh, sure. There have been a few. I do think pickleball is actually a very safe sport relative to the amount of activity you have. For singles, particularly someone who's 50 plus, it's a little rougher. I think doubles, the movement is more conducive to just more natural activity. But for singles, I had a lot of wrist tendonitis because you're swinging a lot harder. But the one that really did me in was I sheared my heel pad.
Wow.
Which was on a hard stop off of a drop shot. Which is a pretty rare injury, as you probably are aware, but it was extremely painful. The heel pad kind of came off the bone,
wow,
and it does not heal very well. So
it is very rare. I rarely have seen that type of injury. What kind of treatments did you, besides obviously you take care of yourself, you have a good nutritional program, you probably exercise regularly. What did you do for your...
Yeah, for the heel pad, there wasn't very much. The heel pad was just rest. I had to get a scooter, then I couldn't put pressure on my foot for a couple of months, which was quite difficult considering I was playing pickleball pretty much every day and still do. So the singles wasn't really worth it for me. But, in general, I would say, I do a lot of PT, I do a lot of training, a lot of things that are kind of core strength type of stuff and balance and...
Just because I'm a physician and I'm a rehab doctor and sports doctor, some of the treatments that are out there are heel cups, orthotics, taping, but they're not really that great treatments. Nowadays, we do more stem cell injections, and that probably is a good treatment to try. Yep. But I'm curious. I hear that you're a foodie and you're interested in nutrition as well. Is that true?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Next picture, Ben.
Uh-oh.
Is this one of the places that you go to, Chow's Country Buffet? I heard that's one of your favorite places. Is that true?
That is one of my favorite places, but it's far away. You can only go there if you're driving up to Daytona. You may catch it about 2 hours north.
Okay.
I think Zach Hunter probably gave you that.
Yeah, he did.
That clue. That was one of the big surprises we had on the drive we had up north. It was one of the greatest buffets I think I've ever seen, certainly for its price. Highly recommended. We actually spoke to the manager about potentially investing, but
oh wow,
he gave us the cold shoulder.
You really liked it. Okay, let's go to the next clip, Ben. So you shifted over to doubles, and the next clip shows you in action.
Beautiful drop by Levine.
So that's you on the right far side, right? Okay. What's your secret sauce as a player? What do you got? What are your
It's an interesting question. I play senior pro, so it's 50 plus. We are the Boca Surge, and I think a clip you're seeing was from our championship season in 2024, and there are 12 teams, soon to be 16, in NPL, soon to be affiliated with Major League Pickleball as well. But for me, most of the players that we play with were high-level racket sports players at a younger age. Because as you know, as you get older, it's probably difficult to develop racket skills from scratch. I wasn't a great tennis player. I was a decent ping pong player. For me, it's more about strategy and passion and intensity. So I played a lot of other sports, particularly hockey and baseball when I was younger. And there are some similarities to pickleball, but I think pickleball is a little bit like chess, largely because of the kitchen. It changes. There's a lot of strategy in the angles and the options that you have, and the strategy you could have as far as how to attack other players. For me, it's a little bit more analytical, a little more cerebral, and a lot of more intensity, I think, as opposed to some of those players that come from high-level tennis backgrounds.
So that's your secret sauce. You really analyze the game well. You understand the game. And do you have any specific shot that you feel is your strength?
I've recently developed a tomahawk, which is very rare.
Okay. What's a tomahawk? I never heard that
I know. That
term.
People say it. So I was having a lot of weakness putting away balls, especially because of my wrist. Oh,
here you go.
So most people put balls away in their forehand.
Mm-hmm.
On the backhand, you can't get as much snap power.
Mm-hmm.
So if you get a high ball that's on your backhand, ball you're basically on a clock, if it's like from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock is where that ball is, it's hard to finish. A tomahawk is like a forehand, and you open up your grip, and you can snap it like that.
Yeah.
So you get a lot more power on that. And it's also powerful if you do an Ernie. So I do Ernies a good bit. And you're familiar with what an Ernie is? So you can jump the kitchen. So if there's a short ball that you're not allowed to step in the kitchen in those 7 feet between the net. But if someone leaves a ball out that's high and it's on the sideline, if you can jump the corner and your feet don't touch the kitchen, you can hit an Ernie.
Right.
So you can hit it right over the net. For a tomahawk, I find you could finish it, which you have to finish that shot, because if you just keep it in play, you're now off the court, and now you've left your partner to cover the entire court. So with a tomahawk Ernie, you could finish a point a lot easier.
I've seen them done, but no, I don't do that. I'm at about a 4.0 level at best.
So you should, if you get that tomahawk Ernie into your repertoire, you'll kill all the 4.0s.
Okay.
It's open. It's like it's like a forehand, but like a snap.
Yeah. Okay. So you also played with some other amazing players. If you could go to the next clip. Some top pros like Eric Onsens. I saw you.
That's Jaime, his father. Is it Jaime Onsens? Eric Onsens is one of the top younger players.
Right.
Jaime Onsens.
Oh, okay. You played with Jamie Onsen. He was a
top
great
20
tennis player.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's him he's serving right there.
Okay.
And I just returned that ball.
He made the quarterfinals at Wimbledon one year.
He was a great tennis player, and he's probably the best, I think, senior pro, 50 plus.
Where do you fit in right now in the doubles? How are you ranked?
I would say I'm like in the 25 to 50 range.
Okay. So speaking of systems and ranging, you have a lot to do with the DUPR as a member of you are a board member of the UPA. Can you give us a little bit of insight of how the DUPR works?
Sure. So DUPR,
without being too controversial, I may ask you one or two controversial questions because everybody wants to know about DUPR.
Most people think that their DUPR's too low. I think that's just standard course of business. But DUPR is the rating system that to measure pickleball players, and it's similar. UTR people are familiar with in the tennis world. So DUPR is like the UTR equivalent for pickleball, and it's a number score, and it's a function of, it looks at the quality level of your partner, the quality level of your opponents, and what the point differential was in your matches. And the more you play, the more accurate it gets. And it ranges from 2 to 8. I would say, 4.0 is pretty good. 5.0 is like probably the top amateur. And if you're a young pro, you're probably a 6.0 plus. The best players in the world are a couple of 7.0s. And, it fluctuates, and I think people, there's always a lot of sensitivity about it because, partially because it's zero sum. Like when you get on a court with someone, if we played against each other, if I outperform expectations versus you, I'm going up and you're going down. And I think that's what makes it different than, say, golf, where it's very independent. Like your handicap in golf is just you against the course. So there isn't that sort of rivalry. So I think sometimes it can be a little contentious, but it's generally fairly accurate, and the algorithm has been optimizing a lot over the past couple of years.
Okay, getting to your point, I'll ask you a question. Some pro players have told me that you can actually win a match and your DUPR score can go down, and they have a little bit of disconnect with that. Not that they criticize the whole system, but I understand that it's based on a relative win or relative loss. Can you elaborate how you feel about that?
Absolutely. I think it's perfectly reasonable. Now, I think the reason why people get sensitive about it is because they're very used to a world where if you win, you get a prize, right? Like they're confusing the point of a rating system with what a point of a tournament. Like someone could win a tournament and you get a gold medal, and that's great. But if you were playing people who were lower level than you and you weren't beating them by as much as the projection says, then your rating may go down. And the analogy I will use is that think of it, and this is true for any analytical rating system for any pro sport. So let's just say football, for example. If let's just say the Seattle Seahawks are the best team in the league, right? They're playing the New York Jets. I'm a Jets fan, but they're terrible as they usually are. Seattle is going to have a much higher power rating than Jets. But if the Jets lose a close game to the Seahawks on a last-second field goal, their rating, the Jets' power rating, will go up, and Seattle's will go down. And if you're a betting person, and there are millions of dollars that are bet on these games, the spread is probably Seattle by 14 points, right? If you bet on Seattle minus 14, you'd expect to lose money if they won the game by 3, and no one would complain about that. It's the same concept, right? If you're a heavy favorite going into a match, even though you win, if you just win very close, you may go down. And that's the concept. And the goal of it is it wants the rating to be as accurate as possible, right? So if me and you stepped on a court, DUPR would probably say I should beat you 11-3. Well, if we play a really tight game and it's 11-9, you should go up, I should go down. And that doesn't mean you're going to be above me, but it just means you outperformed expectations. So you now may be a 4.2, I may go down to 5.2, and then it gets closer to the accuracy rate. So that would be my answer.
Yeah. And likewise, is DUPR equivalent for somebody that's older, somebody that's younger, a woman versus a man, all those differences?
One of the things that DUPR took up, which I think a lot of other rating systems didn't, is that it really did try to be age agnostic and gender agnostic. And it's pretty close. It's fairly similar. Now, it's not entirely similar, but the reason that is because of it's going to be much more accurate when you've got a network of people that play all the time. So the clip you saw before, those are people in my senior pro league. I think our ratings, me against the people on the court with me, are very accurate. But that's because I've played them hundreds of times.
Right.
So I'm very accurate relative to John
Their
Johnson's.
sample size is much greater, right?
Right, but I don't play 18-year-old women very often, right? And 18-year-old women don't play my peers very often. So the pocket of 18-year-old women that are the same rating as me may be miscalibrated. And there are pockets like that. But that's just a function of interconnectedness.
Do you think part of it also, obviously you're trying to be as scientific as possible, but sports betting is going to be a deal in pickleball, right? It's going to elevate it in some way, make it greater, bigger. You think that's part of it as well, the sports betting aspect?
Yeah, sports betting is going to be a huge component, I think, of every sport. And I think you've seen it in sports. Yeah. Obviously, pickleball, it's very early days of it, but viewership in the NFL has exploded largely because they've adopted fantasy football, and betting has exploded as that's proliferated across the country. And pickleball is going to have that too. But, it's the same concept, right? It's handicapping one player versus the other. And DUPR is kind of interesting in the sense that, two amateurs can get out on a court and play and potentially bet based on the ratings. You can handicap, but it's the same thing they do with golf, right? If you're a 10 handicap and you're playing a 6 handicap, he may give you 2 or 3 strokes.
All I know is those guys know a lot more than I do. I went to Vegas once, and I I bet on the Atlantic Hawks against the Chicago Bulls, and I lost because their star player had the flu, and I didn't know that.
Right.
So they know a lot more than we do.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah. What's the future look like for Major League Pickleball? And you're involved with the Palm Beach Royals indirectly or directly? You're an investor?
I'm an
too?
investor.
Yeah.
In Palm Beach Royals.
So what's the future look like for Major League Pickleball?
I mean, it's incredibly exciting. We now Palm Beach Royals are the newest expansion team. We are the 23rd.
Like your hat, by the way.
Thank you. Isn't that nice? 23rd team, and it's exciting that our area finally has a professional team, because I think we are the home of pickleball here in Palm Beach. And the data point I like to use is, if you look at the 10 top-rated pickleball players in the world that play in Major League Pickleball, of course, 8 of them live in Palm Beach, right? And we haven't had a team. Now, it's Palm Beach, and they don't have many pro teams, but I think we're going to get a tremendous amount of support because we just have a fanatical pickleball base.
Yeah.
And we're very excited. The draft is coming down the pike. It's going to be on February 27th. So we don't have a roster yet, but there will be a roster soon.
Are you involved in the decision making?
To some degree, not nearly as much as Zach and others, but I'll have some input to some degree. Just I've been around the league obviously for a while, and I know the players pretty well. But it's really Zach's show. But yeah, for Major League Pickleball in general, it's really exploded. It's if you just saw Annalie Waters is the top 18 years old, and she also lives just 10 minutes from where we are right now.
Right.
Top player in the world by far.
Palm Beach County has so many players, especially Boca Raton.
Yeah, she just signed, just in the last week,
Yeah.
she signed a paddle deal with Franklin that's worth $10 million. She signed an apparel deal with Nike, which is pretty dramatic.
I don't need to ask you those questions because you already.
I'll answer them again.
It's okay.
But in all seriousness, like having Nike support, the biggest star in the game, speaks wonders to how much investment I think they're going to put behind the sport.
The question is, how will that impact the rest of pro pickleball and the community? How will it impact them for the better in the future?
Well, I mean, the way I look at it is that, you've got, when you look at the popularity of any sport, there's the participation and there's spectator in terms of the pro game. And they tend to correlate. So if you look in the data point I used to like was, if you look at, there are the 20 most developed countries in the world. The sport that is the most popular participation sport is also the same as the largest spectator sport in 15 or 16 of them. And in the other 4 or 5, it's like second. And actually, the U.S. is one of the exceptions. I think football is the best sport to watch, but basketball is the top participation sport. Right. But if you go to England, it's soccer, and if it's in India, it's cricket. Yeah. So they tend to correlate. Now, pickleball has come out of nowhere, and we already have 20, 30, 40 million players. It's arguably getting to the point where it could be the largest participation sport in the country, but it's happened so quickly that we haven't developed a spectator sport on the pro side. And so that's going to take a little bit more time, but I'm highly convinced that it's so exciting to watch. And the truth is, as a player, if you're addicted to playing, you want to see the best in the world play. And I watch because I want to see Annalie Waters and Ben Johns and the things they do the best. I learn just from watching them play. No different than golfers, right? I mean, if people watch golf, and I play golf, but I find it very difficult to watch because it's pretty slow. You could go several minutes when someone just hits a ball. But it's obviously still an incredibly popular spectator sport. But probably 100% of the people that watch are addicted golfers. And the reason they're watching is because they want to see the best players in the world do what they wish they could do. They want to see Rory McIlroy hit a 7-iron, 235 yards over a tree, draw in and then cut back towards the hole, because that's what they want to do. So that's how I watch pickleball. I watch the best players in the world, and I see the shots they do and how they set it up, and I'll rewind it and see what he exactly did. And I do believe that it's going to take some time, but people are going to do it too.
I don't want to interrupt you because you have such good content, and my job is to make you look good, and I'm trying to do my best at that.
You're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you so much.
Because it's hard. It's, most people struggle making me look good, but you've done a wonderful job.
All right, good. Getting back to one of the things that you said about making the sport excellent in terms of watching it. We have this problem of this small court, like tennis has a larger court. I don't know how we're going to ever overcome that issue. Maybe you probably have some thoughts on that issue. But getting back to you, the Palm Beach Royals and the Boca Paddle Club are going to share space. The public is going to share that space. How do you envision Boca Paddle Club being with those two forces together?
Sure. So Boca Paddle Club, just for a touch of background, we're going to be opening up this summer. It's a partnership we have with the city of Boca Raton. We're opening up 25 courts. 19 are pickleball, 6 are padel. The majority are inside, and the other ones are mostly covered outside. And one of the covered courts outside is our center court. It's going to be called the Royal Court because that's going to be the home of the Palm Beach Royals, and that's where their Major League Pickleball matches will be. With close to 1,000 seats. And
wow, that's amazing.
Viewing area, and the club itself is really going to be a one of a kind club. It's very much high end. We're going to have farmers table.
You can have restaurants.
Yeah, we're going to have farmers table, food inside.
Not like the place that you go to when you travel away, Chow's.
It's you know what?
Nothing like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure Chow's is great food. I'm not sure it's like it fits the healthy vibe of what we want for Boca Paddle. But we'll have a gym. We're going to have spa services. We're going to have physical therapy and wellness. Even going to have like a private area where people can do work, right? Because if you think, as someone who plays on a regular basis, one of the biggest issues people have is that you may work your full day schedule around your 2-hour session at a court, and people have Zoom calls and they've got work events that they've got to do. Having a private area with like a quiet, insulated area where you could take calls and then go out and play, or go out and get a meal, or take a cold plunge, see your PT. We envision it that's going to be like a third place for people. People who really are into pickleball are going to spend a lot of time there, and it's going to become a community, and we're very excited about it.
Sounds great. So, you talked about it, you mentioned it, but how do you see the Anna Lee Waters getting a contract with Nike? She's the first athlete to get this major contract. Where do you see that going down the road with other pros, with the sport of pickleball?
Yeah, I think Nike was a huge threshold because
Me too.
You've got a Yola paddle here. I mean, there are plenty of players that are getting lots of money from Yola to promote them, but having these sort of, as we call it, non-endemic sponsors is a big boon for the sport, and having someone as big as Nike, because Nike's going to put a lot of money behind sponsoring her and promoting the game. So those things are huge. So we're very excited about what that means for the game as a whole.
Okay, getting back to your injuries one more time.
Sure.
You got some tendonitis in your elbow. What are you doing for that?
It's a good question. I did a little dry needling yesterday with stim,
Okay.
Which I think has done fairly well. I'm doing PT exercises and stretches every day. But it's a wear and tear type of injury, so I just have to reduce the load. So one of the things I've actually started to do, and you're probably going to laugh at this, I've been playing a lot of lefty. So the last few days I've been playing lefty. I had a wrist tendonitis issue a few years ago where I'd taken actually 3 cortisone shots, and I know I shouldn't have, over the course of 6 months, and it wasn't getting better. So the guy just said, no more cortisone shots for you. You just have to take it easy. So for 3 months, I stopped playing, but it's hard to not play pickleball for 3 months. So I decided I was going to, even though I've done nothing lefty in my life, I was going to teach myself lefty. So I went out to like some open play matches and lost some matches to 75-year-old women, and until I started getting better at it. And now I'm at the point where I'm actually a 4-2, 4-3 DUPR playing lefty.
Wow.
And it's quite fun because, I'm learning a different style of game. Because lefty, if you haven't done anything lefty your whole life, you find that you've got certain things that you just can't overcome, right? Like I don't have any power lefty. I can't hit a tomahawk lefty. I can't even finish, but I can control a lot, particularly from a dink, because it's actually quite similar to like my hockey or baseball swing. So if I can get myself into that position and utilize my footwork and utilize the strategy that makes my other games so good, I can get better, and it's a fun, interesting challenge. And then, of course, I give my right arm a rest.
Well, responding to what you said, and you said a lot of things, so it's hard for me to respond to all of it.
Right.
But in general, when you have a tendonitis, you want to heat that area up. And electroacupuncture is probably the basis for dry needling with electric stimulation. That's what I would go for, electroacupuncture, somebody that has a lot of experience.
As opposed to, what's the difference between acupuncture and dry needling?
Dry needling, usually that's done in physical therapy. So I would go for more myofascial, that's kind of a myofascial technique, and it correlates about 70%, but the acupuncturist can use energy points on top of the trigger points. Usually that's a trigger point release.
And why is that? Are the needles different, or it's a different depth of needle?
Different location of the needles. That's number one.
So the dry needling goes to, how is
It goes to some of the muscles, and it depends on the expertise. It really boils down to the expertise of the person doing it. I mean, I'm trained in acupuncture, trigger point injections, mesotherapy, all different types of treat. I do regenerative medicine. So it really depends on how much. So that's one technique. As far as strengthening and stretching, yes, you need to do all the strengthening and stretching. Right. All the different directions, right. You could do it standing up too.
Yes.
Yeah, like it's good this way, just turning your hand. And interesting, on your left side, my colleague of mine did a study when we were residents at NYU Rusk Institute, and he coined the term, nobody ever used it, called alternetics. He's a really smart resident. Strengthening your left arm will strengthen your right arm too. So if you work on your left arm, it will strengthen. I'm pretty sure it would also help neurologically your right arm as well.
I do. It's funny you say that, because I actually do think, I was afraid I might hurt it because I hadn't done it. I actually think I've become a better right side player playing lefty, and part of it's because it forces me to focus. And
you know, I'm a bit older than you, and I've had a lot of injuries, and I think that there needs to be some guidelines. I don't think there's enough guidelines on how much pickleball you should be playing versus how much you should be training. I think there's not enough. Maybe on the pro level they're doing it, but on the amateur level, everyone's just going out and playing. They're not really doing anything
they're not even
away.
warming up properly. I mean,
What?
They're not even warming up properly.
They're not warming
I
up.
find that even
Right.
at the senior pro level.
Right. Especially they should be doing. I basically, before I get on the pickleball court every day, I'm doing yoga, stretching, and strengthening for at least 15 minutes.
Yep.
6 o'clock in the morning, I'm stretching before I play.
Yeah. 'Cause that's most of the injuries. I mean, we touched on it briefly before. Right. Especially if singles is its own animal. Like in singles, you're cutting hard, and your joints and tendons at a certain age, it's hard. But for doubles, you're shuffling a lot, right? It's actually not that wear and tear. And obviously, if you got bad hips and knees, maybe. But one of the neat things about pickleball, I'll share a couple of stats with you. I burn. I've got a Whoop. I burn.
I got my ring.
I burn almost 700 calories an hour when I'm playing for doubles. And the neat thing about pickleball is, when you play in these events, these pro events, I could be playing for 6 or 7 hours a day, which sounds crazy for this age. So you're burning 3,000-4,000 calories. You have that stamina. You couldn't do that for tennis and other sports. And the reason you could is because what's happening is there's very little downtime when you play pickleball. So even though in tennis it's like sharp bursts, so you're burning lactic acid and you just get tired. You never fully get that in pickleball. But if you look at your heart rate, because there's an average of about 8 seconds between points, at least at the pro level, right? So there's very little downtime. The point's over, I get the ball, and we serve it right back. In tennis, it's a big court, right? So you hit a fault, you got to get the ball. It's a long walk back. It's a long bucket. It's a whole routine. And the points in tennis could only be 1, 2, 3, 4 shots. In pickleball, at a higher level, the average point lasts 7, 8 shots. Right, so the points are also longer as well, and then they could last a minute or two if it's really good. So here's an interesting data point. In a pro pickleball match, from the moment the first serve is hit until the match is over, the ball is in play over 40% of the time. In tennis, do you know what it is? What would you guess it is? If you watch a tennis match.
I'm not going to guess.
From the moment that the first point of a tennis match till it's over, the ball is active for 16%, right? So it may not sound like a lot, but you're 2.5 times as active in pickleball, that downtime. So what that means is your heart rate just stays higher.
Absolutely.
So you get up to 150 beats a minute, you get down to
I
125,
agree.
new point. And so because of that, you don't get burned out, but you're burning a lot of calories.
Yeah, you're not reaching your anaerobic threshold easily, but your heart rate is staying elevated for pretty much the entire time. And I check my heart rate when I'm playing all the time. So that makes sense to me.
I've once hit 49,000 steps in a day in one tournament.
I burn about 1,000 to 1,500 calories when I play for a couple hours.
1,000. Okay, that sounds all right.
Yeah. And another interesting stat, going back to something you said earlier about strategy, I think Federer said that he wins about 56% of his points.
54.
Okay, 54. So strategy is so important. You know, you don't have to win every point. You have to win just more than the other guy wins. And
Right.
I think that in pickleball, people don't have enough patience, especially at the amateur level. At the pro level, I'm sure it's different.
Right.
But everybody tries to rush.
Yeah, no, the strategy is
Hit a winner.
huge part of the game. Pickleball really is about a game of errors.
Right.
And if you don't make the errors,
Right.
you'll be
Unforced errors.
surprised. Yeah.
Right.
And that's one of the things I've learned lefty. Is like I don't have to hit. It's quite amazing. And actually, when I start playing with people, they know I can't finish a point, and it's shocking how often I could do well because I'm just placing every ball at their feet. Right. Because when a ball lands at your feet, there's nothing aggressive you could do. You could try, but you're probably hitting the net, or it's going out, or it's an angle where if it is good, I can just knock it right back down. Right? The smart play when you get a ball at your feet is to leave another ball at their feet. And so it becomes this long chess match. And that plays into what I can do well from a left-handed perspective. So it just changes the game a lot, I think. And I think people just have to change their mindset. I think people just like to bang it a lot because it's easy to do and you hit a few winners, but there's a lot of strategy to it.
Yeah, there's a guy that always plays with us, and he played in the senior pro pickleball, and he's 70 plus. He beats everybody because he plays the right strategy. And it's a soft game, but it's strategically smart. What's the Maccabee USA Pickleball?
Sure. Are you familiar with the Maccabee Games?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Okay. So it's the third largest international sports event in the world. It's in Israel every 4 years. About 70 countries participate. It's been going on for let's see, I'm not sure exactly how many years, but it's pretty much probably since Israel's been around, so at least 70. And pickleball was added for the first time, and we're going this summer.
You're playing?
I'm
You're in it?
co-captain of the team.
All right.
So we've actually have 40 players. We've got a Masters 50-plus team and an Open team, 10 men, 10 women on each team. We've actually had tryouts around the country. We actually were supposed to go last year, but it got postponed due to the war, so it got postponed to this coming summer. And we're going to be out in Israel for 3 weeks in July, competing against, I think there are about 8 different countries that will be fielding a pickleball team. But the Maccabee Games are all sorts of sports, so you may know a lot of people that have played, and there's different age levels as well. So we're very excited to be going out there.
Anything else you'd like to share with Healthy Pickleball audience?
I think we've covered a lot of things. I'm good if you're good.
I'm good.
We're going to head out to Mr. Chow's after this?
Yeah, we are.
May not fit the Healthy Pickleball theme.
How long does it take to get there? A couple hours?
2 hours.
You ready to go?
It's worth it.
If you don't want to go there, I'll take you somewhere local.
Okay. We could do that.
Seriously.
We'll go to Farmer's Table.
Oh, I like that place. All right, sounds good. Thank you, Ben. Ben, you have anything else to add to the show, my producer?
No, this was great. This was a great show. I got a lot of information that I didn't know about. Learning everything about pickleball. I'm kind of new to playing pickleball, so hearing all this is incredible. And yeah, I think you're very knowledgeable. This was a perfect guest for the podcast. So yeah, great show.
Thank you. And now you got a place a restaurant to stop in next time you drive north.
And I go up there all the time. So when you said it, I mean,
we'll send it to you.
Please do, because I will stop there. I'm always driving up to St. Augustine. So
It's a diamond in the rough.
oh, I love to hear it.
All right, sounds great.
All right.
All right,
Thank
take
you.
care. Be well.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.